Do you want to discover the secret that few know about how to make a woman fall deeply in love with you? Get ready, because what you're about to learn could challenge your beliefs and expectations about love. In this video, I'll reveal step by step the only proven way to capture a woman's heart. Although it may sound shocking to some, it's time to face the truth and understand what really triggers that deep feeling in a woman. So, if you're ready to discover the power of stimulating feelings of inadequacy in her when she's with you, keep watching. At the end of this video, you'll know how to stimulate feelings of inadequacy in her when she's with you and awaken a connection you never imagined before. So, are you ready to learn these secrets that will make a woman fall in love with you like never before? Well then, let's go Supreme. Look, the only way to make a woman fall in love is to stimulate feelings of inadequacy when she's near you. You must create internal feelings of inadequacy that she has when she's near you. I know this may sound overwhelming and painful, but it's crucial to understand it to change the course of your relationships. First of all, what women need to know and understand is that they need a challenge. Think about it. How many times have you felt that a relationship fades because there was no challenge, no excitement of conquest? It's something that many women crave without even realizing it. And what's even more important is that they need to feel feminine, feel that attraction to someone who doesn't give up easily. The next thing women need is to win you over. This doesn't mean you have to be unreachable or distant, but you do need to show your worth, your masculinity, and your leadership in a way that isn't taken for granted. Women reserve their femininity for those who deserve it, those who demonstrate they are a good match and are willing to be a challenge. After that, women need to feel that you are a good match. How do you achieve that? By showing that you have an exciting life, that you have other options, and that you are a valuable person in yourself. Many men make the mistake of showing all their cards too soon, of revealing their feelings without there having been a real process of conquest. I understand that this may seem complicated, but at the end of the day, it's about finding the balance between showing genuine interest and maintaining that aura of mystery and challenge that attracts women so much. If you're willing to take the step and follow these principles, I'm sure you'll see a significant change in your relationships. Now, no less important, women need and want to compete for you. Have you ever considered that this competition may be a crucial factor in how women feel towards you? It's hard to accept, but it's a reality we must understand. Women enjoy the thrill of competing for a man, especially if that man seems to be desired by other women. That competition makes them feel that there's real value at stake. So, what does all this mean for you? It means you need to understand the value you represent. When you show that you're selective, that you have options, and that you don't easily commit, you convey a powerful message of self-esteem and worth. This sets you apart from most men who are willing to settle for anything. It's important to stimulate those feelings of inadequacy when she's near you. It's not about making her feel inferior, but rather demonstrating that you have high value and deserve to be pursued. Why all this role-playing? Because, deep down, all women seek a man who is pre-selected by other women. It's a harsh truth, but essential. To change your old beliefs and adopt a new mindset, it's crucial to understand that the mechanisms of attraction are the same, whether for a nun in a church or a girl in a college sorority. We're all connected by these primitive instincts of attraction, and understanding them will give you a significant advantage in your relationships. It's time to accept this truth and work with it, rather than against it. Now that we've clarified that and you understand the importance of stimulating those feelings of inadequacy, where she feels almost inferior to reach your level of attraction or to be up to par with you, it's vital that you also realize something else. Women are less sensitive, stronger, and have thicker skin than you think. They act this way because this is a fundamental belief shift that men must experience, must go through, must internalize. Women are much less sensitive, much stronger, and have thicker skin than you think. At first glance, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeing women as delicate and vulnerable beings, but the reality is very different. Women can endure much more than you imagine. It's a mindset shift we must adopt to truly understand how relationships work. Women are willing to tolerate a lot for the man they love. What are they willing to endure? They're willing to endure emotional distance, uncertainty about their worth, and even the possibility of him being with other women. They'll endure all of this in the hope of being by his side. It's a truth many men must face in their own relationships to fully understand. You may have to go through your own experiences, with successes and failures in love, to truly understand this truth. But for those who see it clearly, this is the reality. Women are willing to endure a lot for the chance to be with that special man. It's a harsh truth, but essential to understand how relationships actually work. Let's take it one step further. Women are willing to endure so much for the man they love. So, you might be wondering, what are they willing to endure? What are they willing to endure? Well, they'll tolerate all these things. They'll tolerate a man being distant. They'll tolerate feelings of inadequacy where they lie awake at night and don't know if they're good enough for him. They'll tolerate him being distant, feelings of inadequacy, and even him cheating and being with other women. They'll endure all of this in the hope of having the chance to be by his side. This is what they're willing to endure. Many of you will probably have to go through this in your own love life before believing me. Many of you will probably have to date several women and see things as they are, have successes and failures in relationships, weigh the pros and cons of both, and see what works and what doesn't work. But for those of you who truly see this for what it is, this is the truth. This is the harsh reality. Women will endure so much in the hope of being by that man's side. And what's more, here's what's scary about this. You've been conditioned to think otherwise. You've been conditioned to believe that none of this exists and that your beliefs about mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual chemistry will serve you, and I'm here to tell you they won't. You'll face reality in the dating game every time and wonder what's wrong. I'm a good guy, I have a 4-year college degree, I have a good job, I drive a new Mercedes. None of that matters. So, why should they feel inadequate? Because understand that sounds like a very harsh truth. Don't get me wrong, I was raised with the same beliefs as you. We all were. Even when I hear that, I think, my goodness, that sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Here's why they have to feel inadequate. Hypergamy is only satisfied through a discrepancy in the sexual market value for a woman. That's love, a discrepancy in sexual market value. She thinks your sexual market value is higher than hers. That's a discrepancy in sexual market value. This is how women perceive attraction. They don't perceive attraction through Valentine's gifts. They don't perceive attraction through, any of the things they've told you about mutual love and mutual chemistry. They perceive attraction through a discrepancy in sexual market value. So, no discrepancy in sexual market value means no attraction and no desire. This translates into personality traits, it translates into masculine characteristics. This doesn't translate into appearance, money, or status, or any of those things. I'm talking about the internal traits that make a woman look at a man and say, that's a man, he's a real man. This is a man who doesn't settle for nonsense. This is a strong, stable, and capable man. So, if you're distant, which means you really don't care to see her much, furthermore, you often become disinterested, which means you'll make plans and maybe she just won't hear from you afterwards, or maybe you make plans and she doesn't even hear from you for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. You're not a priority in your life at all. Or you act indifferent, you don't care if she calls you or texts you, you don't care if you see her some days and not others, you're out doing whatever you want with whoever you want. Some days you see a new girl, some days you don't. Some days you're making money, other days you're with friends, other days you're doing this, other days you're sitting here on a scoreboard in a cowboy hat, whatever the case may be. You have to understand that these kinds of things, these personality traits, the distance, the disinterest, the indifference, all these are things that women do to give you the psychological perception that your market value is lower than theirs. It's not. Most men aren't aware of their own attractiveness. Most men aren't aware of how attractive they are in the eyes of women. Most men aren't aware of their value. Their whole game is to make sure you remain unaware of your value. This is the harsh reality. What you must discover for yourself is this. Firstly, love doesn't exist, or at least not in the way you were told, how you were probably raised, or how you were probably told it exists. Secondly, women don't really love men, they don't care at all, sincerely, they don't care. They will never love you as you love them, mutually in being together and things are great. Women often only love emotional tension and only love a man who brings survival value to the table, who seems strong often in today's world. The only way to show strength or emotional strength is to not be needy, not desire it and act as if you desire other women besides her, even if you really desire her. Now, some of you may be thinking of writing in the comments, that's horrible, I don't want to act like that. Yes, It's okay, but that really doesn't help you more or less. You need to understand the truth here. Thirdly, women only love the discrepancy in sexual market value, which makes you appear above her in terms of dating dynamics. So, here's the great thing about all this. You can do any of these things at any age or income level. It really doesn't matter. No matter how old you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter your status level. Women recoil from all the little things that signal weakness and emotional attachment. So, if you're a millionaire, you have a private jet, a yacht, you're the CEO of a company, you're 6 feet 3 inches with chiseled abs, great, but guess what happens when you try to hold her hand? What happens when you send too many emojis in a text message? What happens when you ask to see her too many times in a row over a period of 5 or 10 days? You'll face the same things every other man faces. She'll pull away from you, seem uninterested, act like she doesn't like you, and then look for another guy. And then, that next guy will make the same mistakes and then she'll leave him and then look for another guy, and that guy will make the same mistakes too and then she'll leave him and then she'll meet another guy and maybe he'll have it all together for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months and then she'll say to him, you know, I really wish this would progress and I'd like to have a relationship with you and I'd like you to be more aware of how I feel and I'd also like you to pay more attention to me and give me more attention, and then, even that guy will do all those things and then she'll still pull away from him and leave him too and then move on to the next guy and he'll make all the same mistakes too. So keep this in mind, don't put too much effort or energy into your relationships as a man, it doesn't serve you. Many guys have been conditioned to believe that these relationships and many of these people in your life can serve you and that can be friends, family, or romantic partners. You think these people have more value in your life than they really do. In reality, most people don't bring much to the table. Most of the time it's just empty words and hot air. It's conversations that lead nowhere. So keep this in mind, if you want to do something with your life, it comes from understanding these circumstances. And before you go, I want to invite you to watch the next video, where you'll understand why women love to sleep with losers. Thank you for being part of this community, and if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe.